As I look back on that summer, I realized that it was all leading to something inevitable. Gatsby's pursuit of Daisy, his dream of the past, was about to collapse. The tension between the three of them had built to a breaking point, and soon it would all come crashing down. In the coming days, Gatsby would face the consequences of chasing a dream that could never be his. The world they had created was fragile, and nothing would ever be the same again. The heat of that day seemed to mirror the tension between the characters, building to an inevitable clash. Tom, fully aware of the affair between Daisy and Gatsby, confronted Gatsby in the Plaza Hotel, demanding that Gatsby accept the reality of Daisy's marriage. Gatsby, filled with hope and desperation, insisted that Daisy leave Tom and choose him instead. But Daisy, torn and scared, couldn't make the choice. She chose to stay with Tom, revealing the harsh truth to Gatsby. His dream could never become reality. The confrontation ended with Gatsby shattered, as the illusion of love he had clung to all these years was crushed by the cold reality of Daisy's loyalty to her husband. Later that afternoon, Daisy, in a state of emotional turmoil, drove Gatsby's car. As fate would have it, she accidentally struck and killed Myrtle Wilson, Tom's mistress. The accident set in motion a tragic sequence of events as Tom manipulated the situation, placing the blame on Gatsby. Despite what had happened, Gatsby refused to leave Daisy. He still believed, hopelessly, that she would leave Tom for him, that she would choose the dream they had once shared. But the reality was different. Daisy was no longer the woman she had been, and Gatsby was clinging to a past that could never return. The tragedy reached its peak when George Wilson, Myrtle's husband, believing Gatsby was responsible for her death, sought revenge. In a cruel twist of fate, Wilson found Gatsby and shot him in his own mansion. Gatsby, the man who had built his life on a dream, was dead. His world, his illusions, were gone. And in his death, there was no one left to mourn him. The people who had once filled his parties, the guests who had admired his wealth, were nowhere to be found. He had built everything for a love that was never truly his. As I stood at Gatsby's funeral, I couldn't help but reflect on the man's life. The man who had chased a dream with all his might, only to see it slip away from him. Gatsby's death symbolized the fall of the American dream itself. A dream built on wealth, power, and the pursuit of happiness, yet ultimately empty. Gatsby had reached for something beyond his grasp, and in the end, it had destroyed him. His death was a reminder of the illusions we all chase, of the dreams we try to build, and the inevitable emptiness that follows. This short and direct version of Part 3 captures all the major events, from the confrontation between Tom and Gatsby, to the tragic death of Gatsby, and the reflection on his lost dreams. It should engage the audience and leave them anticipating the next developments. Let me know if you'd like